Hey, what's up, everybody? We're going to be getting started here pretty soon. Just hang out in the chat and relax. And, yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I'm literally, I was wrapping up what I was going to say about Kanye West, and more content is actually just coming out. So I'm, kind of combing through it because it's just endless. So, everybody, sit back, relax, and we shall get started here pretty soon. Participate in the chat. And then, if you're interested in becoming a member, you can get perks such as badges and emojis. And oh, I'm gonna be working on some new merch here soon, so exciting! Hey everybody, we're just still waiting a bit, just a little bit longer today than usual, but we will be starting here pretty soon. Just wrapping up a few more things, and yeah, waiting for my room to cool off because it's so hot. The sun's going down right now. I'm sure in another few minutes it's gonna drop in temperature, so I don't have to sweat my balls off when I stream. Ah, okay. Why don't we get this on the road? Hey, if you haven't liked the stream already, please smash the like button. That would be awesome. Okay, let's fix our. Hold on. Do 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 do. Do do do. Okay, that's better. That's better. What's going on, dear monads? Let's amp it up in here. I do need a new microphone. I'm desperate for a new microphone, actually. I am desperate for a new microphone. And a webcam. All in good time. Hey, let's get some little demon faces going. Face for face. Let's get some demon faces going. Face for face. Okay, here we go. And 3, and 2, and 1. And big face. And hello, everybody. Yes, we have the grunge cam again. It's the weird, funky cam with issues, but I like it because it's artistic. Anyways, my name is Jan Erickson, and this is my Hyperion channel called Mindful Monad. I do a lot of live streaming. I live stream 3 days a week, and we take a look at stuff that's going on in the world. We look at philosophical concepts. We look at what's going on in religion. Anything to do with that I can take a Hyperion takeaway from, and sort of discuss inner star actualization, self-improvement, things like that. So tonight is Worldview Wednesday. We got a lot to cover. First of all, we're going to do a follow-up on Kanye West because it has not stopped since last week. In fact, it's gotten way worse, and it's still going on like right now. Like just a minute ago, I'm still like pulling up new links to like show. So that's going to be interesting. I'm very concerned about that. I think I want to get into what's going on with Alex Jones. But I think I'm going to put that last, because the main thing I want to talk about is like Kanye again, but then I also want to discuss the issue going on with Jessie Gender, which you know is one of my favorite creators. and she has been experiencing some injustice recently with certain YouTube community guidelines, and it just being absolutely bullshit. And she uploaded a 4 hour long amazing video that I didn't even get to see yet, and YouTube decided to take it down for really arbitrary reasons. So it's very maddening to me, and I want to talk about that because the video topic that she made, it's important. It's about trans issues, and it's about debunking Matt Walsh, which we already watched the first part about in my live stream called The Insanity of Matt Walsh. So I was actually looking forward to another part. I don't think I was exactly planning to review the whole 4 hour video with you guys, but I was definitely looking forward to it, and I didn't get to see it. And I'm angry because of that, because it was taken down for very stupid reasons. And this is just the ongoing challenge of trying to provide correct information about the trans community, and it being backpedaled, put on the back burner, and even worse, deleted. So lots of stuff to discuss today. And before we do that, I would like to just hang out a little bit more, say hello to everybody in the chat room. If you have not already, please like the live stream. Please share the live stream. And yeah. So who do we got here? We got our moderators in the house. We got Susan Mitchell. We got Cassie. We got, is that it for today? That's the only moderators I see in the house tonight. Thank you so much for coming and offering your time to keep our chat nice and healthy. And sorry, I have to blow my nose. Hold on. All right, so I have a lot of allergies. You'll have to pardon me in my sniffles and my snorts. Who else do we have here? We have Katrina. I see Katrina, and thank you so much for the sticker. I really appreciate that. And we got Renaissance Fairy. Always good to see you. Imaginista. Elise, good to see you. Hope, always good to see you. Cassidy. Cassidy is one of our royal lurkers. Our royal lurkers like to listen, and we love that. It's been a really hot day today, and there's no air conditioning in this place, so because it gets hot so rarely, but it was really freaking hot today. So I honestly tried to like wait to start live streaming like a little bit later just because the sun's going down right now and it's cooling off, but oh well. I'll just have my window wide open and my neighbors can hear all of my hysteric rants. I see Nibro, good to see you. Samantha, let's see. Melinda Mahan, good to see you. Tyler, good to see you. Morg, good to see you. Heretical Response, always good to see you. Zero, always good to see you. Always good to zero. Zero, always good to zero. That works. Nice. Hello, hello. Oh, we got like the regular crew here. Already I'm starting to sweat. Bam, 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 bam. I think I might be, sort of not taking away the loading time that we have in the beginning of every stream, but, revamping it. I think it's time for like a redo, a remake. Shadow season is soon here upon us. It's spooky season, but shadow season doesn't start till Halloween on midnight. So October 31st midnight. It's like November and December is the shadow season. which is our Hyperion season for focusing on exploring your shadow. Safely, of course. Safely. Hope says I'd give anything for 65 or 75 right now. Yeah, it hit 80 today, which doesn't sound like much, but weather is kind of weird and climate is kind of weird. So even though it says 80 when you look it up on the weather app and everything, it feels way hotter than that. Katrina, come to the Midwest. You'll cool down real quick. I bet. I know for some people the weather is it's like winter. It's cold. The leaves are dying. We don't have weather where I'm at. Central Coast, California has like no weather. What? Heretical Response says, or asks, if Kanye West and Herschel Walker were drowning and you could only save one of them, what kind of sandwich would you make? Yeah, so the stuff with Kanye West has gotten like way worse. Clearly there is something going on with him. I can't figure out if he's actually running for president, though. Let's go to viewing content. No, my cursor disappeared again like it always does. What the fucking A? Hold on, let me get it back. Why? Why do you do this to me, Alfredo? Okay, there it is. I make a mean cucumber sandwich. What does a cucumber sandwich consist of? I mean, obviously more than just cucumber, but like, what's the point of a cucumber sandwich? The world must know. Cucumber sandwich? Cucumber sandwich. Let's see. Cucumber sandwiches are an appetizer must for a tea party, Mother's Day brunch, baby shower, bridal shower, anything together. Simple finger food that's cool, light and refreshing. Yeah, but what's on it? Bread, cucumber, cream cheese, mayonnaise. Cream cheese and mayonnaise? No! Dude, you can only have one or the other. Cream cheese and mayo? No, I would go for the cream. I love mayonnaise. I'm a mayo freak, but like I would go for the cream cheese. Okay, so herbs, dill, chives, lemon juice, and seasonings. Dude, this could easily be vegan. Like you could get a nice vegan like cream cheese, and there's even vegan mayo. Like that would be good. How to make cucumber sandwiches. Make the fucking sandwich. No, I'd fuck with that. That looks good. I wouldn't mind that. I would eat, like, if it was cut in these little squares, though, I have to say, I would eat, like, 50 of those. Like, you better be, like, making enough for, like, a small army, because, honey, it's going down. I'm so scared. I feel like I have to pee, and I just peed, so I'm concerned I'm gonna have to pee again soon. Have had a tomato sandwich? Samantha says, never had a cucumber sandwich, but I've had a tomato sandwich. I love tomato sandwiches. I mean, to me, a tomato sandwich, like, when I was a kid, I used to make toasted tomato sandwiches because it was cheap and really easy. You just toast 2 pieces of bread, like, slather them in mayo and just, like, slice tomatoes on it and, like, put some salt in it and eat that. It was really good. No, I don't want to pee again. I'm, like, mad at my avatar. Alright, let me try and get it out of the way before we really get into it. I don't want to pee so much. Ah! Okay, and look at that. I actually remembered to unmute. I really want to save Alex Jones for last, and we might not cover it. It's a little bit of dead news at this point, I feel like. But I mean, in a nutshell, like, Alex Jones is like, he lost his fucking court cases so hard, and he's being ordered to pay, like, seriously, $1 billion. It's just shy of $1 billion to the families, but he's doing that. But at the same time, it gets complicated because he's trying to be like, yay, that's good because I can file for bankruptcy, but I don't think he's going to get off that easy. We'll see. We'll see. Hope, I've been looking at, like, the recipes you post on Facebook and stuff. Like, they look good. Some of them, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think you posted one about, like, I was gonna comment, but I got busy, about, like, Christmas lasagna. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Yeah, Cassie, he'll never pay them, I swear. But it's, in principle, it's good that, like, they won. Hey, Exploring the Hollows, good to see you. We are just getting started. We're talking about sandwiches and Christmas lasagna for some reason. I think it comes from the point of, like, growing up Mormon, and the Christmas lasagna looks like fruity, marshmallowy, jello-y, like, sort of fruit salad stuff. And that was, like, always served at every, like, Mormon shindig, and I just could not handle it. It's like green jello. I mean, not the recipe, but, like, at, like, you go to a church function, and there'd be, like, orange jello with, like, tangerines in it and whipped cream, and then there'd be, like, another green jello with, like, marshmallows and whipped cream and stuff like that. It was just, there's something about jello that I fucking hate. I am declaring war on all jello. All jello sucks. Sorry, it just does. Very rarely in my life, if somebody buys one for me and is like, here, take it, I might do a jello shot. But other than that, I'm just like, I can't do the jello. Let's see. Exploring the Hollow says, last Friday stream was off the chain. It was funny. Cassie says, I like green kind with the marshmallows. You are fired. Remove yourself immediately. Hope says, yeah, my grandma made various jello stuff. I think it's like 30s, 60s thing. It's like a 70s thing. Have you seen 70s cuisine? Just 70s cuisine. It's god awful. Like, no wonder those people just snorted cocaine instead. Like, why fucking, I ain't eating grandma's fucking green bean jello salad. I'm fucking just snorting some coke and going to the club. Jello is made of horse cartilage. No, Jello is made of pure evil. It's evil. Don't eat it. It's anti-Hyperion. Ambrosia. Katrina mentioned ambrosia, and then like just the word ambrosia, just sounds old fashioned. Would you like an ambrosia salad? Sure, Eustace. I would love an ambrosia salad. Oh, the green bean casserole with Ritz crackers is amazing. Okay, so like Mormons, I gotta show this. Okay, I'm sorry, we're chit-chatting a little bit before we get started. So like Mormons have this one infamous like Mormon dish they make that it's like quintessential Mormon, and it's actually one of my favorite fucking like foods ever. And it's funeral potatoes. So funeral, yes, you heard me right, potatoes. So it's funny because it's like, oh, this is like the casserole, like potato casserole, cheesy casserole thing, like you make and you bring to like funerals or like to help like bring and comfort the family. So they are literally called funeral potatoes, but they are so good. This is like my favorite meal as a kid. Cassie says funeral potatoes are the shit. Oh yeah, no. Okay, so it's the best. Okay, so like, get out of the way, ad. So like you grate up all your potatoes, and then there's like 30 ounces of frozen hash browns, diced or shredded, will work. Thawed. No. Oh no. Oh my goodness, no. This is not okay. No, you do not use frozen potatoes in funeral potatoes. No. You fucking grate your own whole potatoes. Like, okay, so then you grate potatoes. You do not buy the fake frozen shit. And then you do like the sour cream, and then you do like a can of cream of chicken soup, and then you do like a shitload of butter. And this can be converted to vegan, like, too. So, like, just convert it in your head as I say this. So, salt, black pepper, get some onion in there. But I think, like, not necessarily, like, regular onion. It needs to be green onion. See, I'm already critiquing this. I'm like, I am way more Mormon than this lady. And then a ton of cheese. Okay, so you make your mixture of like shredded potatoes with the sour cream and the cream of chicken soup and all the butter and like pepper and salt and like some green onion, I think is better. And then you mix it with shredded cheese too, so all the cheese is mixed. And then on top, when you spread everything out, Cassie says potato chips. No, Cassie's fired again. You put Kellogg's Corn Flakes on top. And it turns into like this lovely, like cheesy, creamy hot potato dish with like crunchy Kellogg's Corn Flakes on top. Like I'm telling you, it's like my favorite meal. Like I actually have like a recipe that I got from the Mormon family before I broke up with them. Like, I have my Mormon cookbook. It's so funny. I got the recipes before I broke it off with them. At least I have that. It's actually a really funny recipe book. My Mormon recipe book. We should, like, go through it sometime. Like, I have, like, a recipe for broccoli salad. Like, no joke, I was reading it, and it was like, oh, like, chop up a couple of cups of broccoli and put it in there. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. And then it's like, chop up some red onions and put it in there. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds healthy. And then it's like, drop in 2 cups of mayo. And I'm like, okay. And then it's like, put in like a cup of sugar. And I'm like, no. You don't, like, you have broccoli, have red onion, and then it's like mayo and sugar. No joke, like a cup of sugar. I'm like, a cup of sugar in a fucking broccoli salad? Love it. Anyways, I actually don't like the salad. It's just funny. It's like literally just like a potato casserole, but It's Mormon, so it's funeral potatoes because Mormons die a lot, apparently. Anyways. So recently, Kanye West, oh my god, I don't know what it is with Piers Morgan lately. But Piers Morgan is like, look at these people who are worse than me. And it's like, Piers Morgan, shut up. You're totally fucking shitty yourself. So Piers Morgan recently had Kanye West on his show. And this just popped up recently. And just last night, Kanye West was on a podcast doubling down on his anti-Semitism, and then appeared on Piers Morgan and was suddenly like apologizing for shit. But like literally 30 seconds after he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. This stuff is insane. Kanye content. I can't even say it's not Kanye, it's Ye. Ye content. Do we get the full interview? Full interview. Let's see. Oh, Hope's talking about homemade pickles or pickled veggies. So I actually have my jar of sauerkraut that just turned 1 month old today. And I had some for breakfast with like a toasted cheese sandwich. Fucking amazing. I love brining cabbage. It's really good. It's so easy to do that. I want to brine more things. I need more. I love brined and fermented foods, like brined and fermented vegetables. I don't know, it's just my tummy loves that stuff. Anyways, I'm trying to find like more of the full interview with Kanye. But I'm trying to find like more of the full thing. I don't want like choppity chop things. Let's see. Brining vegetables is surprisingly really easy. I was really nervous the first few times I did it because, I mean, like, it's weird. You're, like, chopping up a bunch of cabbage, you're stuffing it in a jar, filling it up with, like, salt. No. You mix the salt with your cabbage, pound it down into your jar, and then fill it up with water, and then you just let it sit unrefrigerated for, like, at least, like, 2 or 3 weeks, but the longer you wait, the better it tastes, kind of thing. So in my mind, I'm like a month at least. So it was a little scary for me at first because I'm like, I'm letting something sit unrefrigerated in my cupboard and then I'm going to consume it. Like, surely I'm going to have botulism. But it went well and it worked out. And I did a bunch and I had some that went bad. Like, I definitely had that experience. Like, you'll see a little bit of gray mold and you're like, oh no, it's not working. But if your cabbage is nice and grassy and hay looking and then like it smells good and you taste it and it's nice and salty, like, it's just fine. God, there's so much to go over today. I don't even know if we'll get to it all today. Honestly, we might spill it out into next week. So I just want to skim through. I just want to like watch this first. I want to skim through it a bit. And then because I was looking up so much Kanye content and I'm like, I am lost with the message here. I found a YouTuber and I started listening to them talk about Kanye and it was so good. I'm like, I gotta like shut this off and like, oh no, I accidentally closed it out. Oh crap, hold on. So I found a YouTuber that was starting to say some like really great things about it, and I'm like, I gotta save this for the live. Heretical response says, "What happened to Jessie Gender?" We're gonna get into that. Oh, this is viewing it through somebody else. Okay, hold on. I don't want that. Where is the full interview? Was it only like 6 minutes long?
You don't hold accountability to my pain. You're being a Karen.
I'm sorry. Like, already off the bat, Kanye is calling Piers Morgan a Karen, which is so funny.
I'm not a Karen, and I'm not a Karen, and I'm not going to cancel you, and I'm not going to unsend.
I'm not a Karen. I'm not a Karen, okay? I'm not gonna cancel you.
I'm simply going to challenge you on what you're saying. I think you don't understand the pain that you've been causing with some of these comments. And I think.
Okay, so if you're catching up, Kanye West has been. Oh shit! Let me turn it up. Yeah, sorry. So, if you guys aren't like really up to date, Kanye West recently has been spouting some like super anti-Semitic shit, and not just once, not just twice, not just 3 times, but just like repetitively, and it's gotten so bad. But yeah, he's of course supported by conservative and right-wing media. I don't like Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is a piece of shit. But for some reason, Piers Morgan is on this like journey to like interview people who are apparently worse than him in some way, but that's not like the way to go about like building yourself up. So let me backtrack it.
You don't hold accountability to my pain. You're being a Karen.
I'm talking about. I'm not a Karen.
I'm not a Karen. I'm not a Karen. I'm not gonna cancel you. Oh, dearie me.
To the pain.
I'm not a Karen, and I'm not going to cancel you, and I'm not going to uncensor you. I'm simply going to challenge you on what you're saying. I think you don't understand the pain that you've been causing with some of these comments. And I think that one in particular, I can understand.
Oh my God. God forbid.
The tweet that he made where he's like, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on all Jews. Oh no.
God forbid one comment could cause people to feel any of the pain that my people have went through for years. Even like the blacks being ushered to the left during the civil rights movement. No one is cared about black people.
He's been like renouncing like all of that recently. He's been renouncing that and just focusing solely on his idea that he's being picked on by solely Jewish people. Where did my little vape go? I feel like I lost it. Oh, there it is. Anyways. I have to pee again. I feel so bad.
Okay, why does...
No,
all right.
No one is...
Can I let me say, I agree that the racism against black...
All right, sorry. I have to pee again. I know. I'm drinking a lot of water, okay? Sorry, I have like a small bladder. I also hate the feeling of needing to pee, so if I feel it, like, even a little bit, I have to go. Even if it's a little sprinkle. Like, I can't stand the sensation in my body when I need to pee. Very intolerant. Intolerant. Glad you're staying hydrated, right? Actually, I feel like it's the opposite. Like, my body's, like, diuretic. No joke. Like, I almost need to take pills to make me non-diuretic.
Black people has been utterly deplorable, shameful, unacceptable, and thank God the world is beginning to move to a better place about the way it has treated black people like you.
No one has cared.
I'm backtracking a little bit.
Why does he? Okay, why does no?
All right.
No one is.
Can I? Let me say, I agree that the racism against black people has been utterly deplorable, shameful, unacceptable, and thank God the world is beginning to move to a better place about the way it has treated black people like you. However, one form of racism.
Did you see that weird, like, mouth movement Kanye did just now? That was weird. I don't know, his whole gestures are weird. Like, it's so weird. It's like, it's almost like Kanye West is so, like, he's so used to being surrounded by, like, yes men, like people just, like, not really challenging him. When he gets environments where people are challenging him, he shuts it down. Like, he shuts himself down. Like, he shuts it down so hard. And it's like, who in his life, like, who in Ye's life is there to be like, yo, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, hey, man, like, is anybody challenging his beliefs at home? Is there nobody around him at home to be like, dude, shut the fuck up? Like, that's really messed up. Like, shut the fuck up. Is nobody challenging him, like, at all? Does it really have to be, like, this whole... And what bothers me, too, is, like, recently with all this, he's being paraded around on media. Like, he just was on Carl Tuckerson. Now he's here on Piers Morgan. He's been on other things. It's like, what the fuck is happening here, and why are people platforming his ass?
What about treated black people like you? However, it's one form of racism. Doesn't justify. It's almost
in a better place.
Well, one form of racism doesn't justify another.
It's not a better place.
I'm not cutting you off. I'm finishing my sentence. So you can respond.
Because nobody can tell Kanye shut up. Like, as soon as Kanye talks, like, oh, well, just listen because he's a fucking genius. He's not. Fuck him.
One form of racism. One form of racism. It is racism when you say I'm going DEFCON for Jewish people.
It is racism. Kanye West has been nothing but racist towards Jewish people this whole fucking time. And not just doubling, but tripling and quadrupling down. This is insanity that he does not recognize what he's doing.
I was in a position where I've been hurt, and this is the way I had the right to express myself. The point of this interview is for you to question me, and then for me to answer and say, okay, even though the same rules are not applied to my people, if a person with a gun or drugs is pulled over and has three other people in the car, they're all going to jail.
Oh, now he's like, I'm with my movement. Now he's like, I'm with, like, the civil rights movement. It's so weird because, like, before it seems like he was kind of, like, renouncing it.
Yeah. I'm not going to apply that to Jewish people for the sake of this conversation. Isn't that what you wanted? But you know what you did?
No.
You tried to civil rights me.
You tried to civil rights me. Like, what? The context and the comparison between who suffered more, black people or Jewish people, it's just fucking god-awful and awkward as hell.
You tried to pull me back to a week ago, but we're here today. There's been plenty of conversations and commentary since that, but you want me to go back to 1960.
No.
You want me to go back to 7 days ago.
Right.
Dude, your father was a Black Panther. What the fuck are you doing?
Let me jump in. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to...
Kanye West's father was totally a Black Panther.
Okay, so have we grown? Have we grown?
Here's how we grow. Yeah, here's how we grow. I want you to reflect.
No, have we grown? Have we grown? You're not in charge of my growth. You're not in charge of...
Kanye, Sweet EA. EA, are you even in charge of your own growth? Okay, I am just, as a Hyperion and as mindful monad, I am a big proponent of growth, especially mental growth, rational growth. Rational growth is beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing ever. Kanye's idea of growth is not like the Hyperianism idea of interstar actualization. If anything, Kanye West digs his heels in the chaos of thoughts and ideas, and just kind of explores what's going to benefit him in the moment, and that's his nature as a billionaire. I mean, it doesn't matter what race or religion you are. If you're a big capitalist billionaire, you're going to behave a certain way, and you're going to use whatever it is, whatever social situation to your advantage to make money off of it, to profit off of that. And I'm sorry, I think this is what's going on here. I think Kanye West is trying to profit off of white supremacism. 100%.
I'm about to... Okay, let me phrase it like this.
And why is it okay?
I'm about to suggest to you how you may grow if you choose to grow this way. And you can ignore me. You can ignore me.
Pierce, how much money are you worth?
Not as much as you, sadly.
Exactly. So take my advice. Maybe you'll get rich.
What?
I would love to take your business advice.
What? Like that even matters? What in the...
But I listen to you.
What in the rich elite mentality is this shit?
Why don't you hear what my advice is and then work out if I'm wrong? Can we do that deal?
Yeah, why are you on here? Just because Kanye just wants to be, like, powdered.
Well, the thing is, you haven't given me any credit or a moment of reflection for the comparison that I made, the brilliant, if I do say so myself, comparison.
The brilliant, if I do might say so myself. Because Kanye is a self-proclaimed, like, genius.
That I made to the cops pulling over one black person and locking everyone up.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so Zero brought up a really good thing, the myth of capitalist meritocracy. So, unfortunately, like, I love the idea of meritocracy. I love it. I want to use meritocracy more, but I feel like I can't, because meritocracy understood today in pop culture is not the same as the meritocracy, like the Hyperion meritocracy that I know and understand, which is genuinely people, like, having the positions that they're really good at. In this sort of capitalist meritocracy that you actually hear about, and why you'll often see a lot of things about how meritocracy is failing today, is because it's not a true, genuine meritocracy. It's a capitalist meritocracy, where you're not like where everybody isn't starting at the same level. Everybody's starting at different levels, and if somebody, you know, inherits a fortune and takes in daddy's company and stuff like that, then they think that's meritocracy. You inherited that. That's you know, you're good at that position because you got it because it's in the family. Like, it's really weird. So I, at this point, try to stray away from using the word meritocracy itself, because it's got a lot of bad rap with it. But I want to use it in its true, genuine form. So I have to describe things without using the word meritocracy, because I feel like it gets conflated and convoluted with the idea of meritocracy today, which is a very capitalistic meritocracy.
Tweet having issues. Wait a second, I wasn't done with the sentence. My tweet referring to all Jewish people, I said, for the sake of this conversation, I will refer to the business people who have destroyed me and my people and my fellow creatives. But you didn't even accept that I gave you that. You tried to push me back into 1960.
Oh, poor Kanye. Anyways, so Hope says how Kim stayed with him for so long is insane. Of course, I don't know if he was like this back in the beginning. Kind of not. It's really strange. I can't remember what year it was, but like Kanye West was like more of just like an artist. Did not get more into the philosophy until later, I believe, when he went to Africa and got in touch with his roots, I guess. And then after that, he just had started getting some insane ideas. But his situation with his ex-wife, absolutely crazy. I know, like, a lot of people like to laugh at celebrity drama, but a lot of the way Kanye West has been saying things about his wife publicly and stuff like that, it's really reflective of his character, as if we actually need any more reflection of his character, because it's plain as day. But it's been really bad recently, and it's just so weird, because it's like he does weird shit, like he bought a house right next to Kim Kardashian, supposedly to keep in touch with his kids, but I mean, I don't think that's necessary. That's kind of bizarre. Like, how would you like your ex-husband to live next to you all the time? Like, checking out, like, sitting in the bush with binoculars, checking out all your new boyfriends coming over.
No,
you tried to push me.
Hold on, I have to blow my nose again. Ugh. My nose just runs like a faucet.
Back into last week.
No, I didn't.
Okay, do you accept that example that I gave you?
I understand completely the example you gave me. I think all racism is wrong.
So I feel that we've grown.
I would like you to reflect.
What do you mean you've grown? In 2 hours? Since you said the fucking shit that you said literally yesterday about, like, being anti-Semitic and about the Jewish media, like, fucking you over? What do you mean you've grown?
I feel we've grown. Do you feel we've grown?
If you've now changed what you wanted to say originally, my question for you is, do you now regret...
He didn't say this shit, like, 2 years ago. He said this shit yesterday.
Regret saying DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Are you sorry you said that?
No.
I think it matters. You should be.
Absolutely not. You know, I will say I'm sorry for
Cassie's like, I'd love to flip off my ex every day. Fuck yeah, I'd love to flip off your ex every day too. Fucking sucks.
People that are hurt with the DEFCON.
Oh, now he's going back.
Regret saying
within like 2 minutes.
I update
DEFCON
every
3
day.
on Jewish people. Are you sorry you said that?
No.
I think it matters. You should be.
Absolutely not. You know.
No, no, absolutely not. I'm not sorry. And now I'm sorry. It's like that little like thing in Home Alone where he's like, I'm sorry. And then she's like, it's too late. Now go upstairs in the basement.
I will say I'm sorry for the people that are hurt with the DEFCON, the confusion that I call. I feel like I cause hurt and confusion. And I'm sorry for the families of the people that had nothing to do with the trauma that I had been through and that I used.
So Kanye experienced some trauma in his mind. He experienced a certain set of trauma, and he's coming out to explain everything now, and he feels like it's because of Jewish people that he's experiencing this trauma. And now he's saying, sorry, I feel like it's my trauma. I'm just focusing on that. It's got nothing to do with you, so you're mistaken. Does that not sound like some shadow issues to me? Oh, I'm sorry I shadow projected. You should have stayed out of the way. Whoops.
It's my platform where you say hurt people, and I was hurt.
Yeah. It's an uncensored interview. You said something which you've now wished you hadn't said, and you've apologized. I actually think that says a lot about you, right? That shows you've got...
No, it doesn't. Pierce Morgan, you piece of shit. That does not say anything about Kanye West. Like, in 2 minutes, he's like, oh, yeah. Like, the man has, like, 1 million thoughts per second. Do you think he's going to stick to this, or do you think he's going to flip around? Back around? Oh, yeah. This is just a small Yui, just because he's in the moment.
Ability to be self-aware, to understand when you cross a line. I think someone like you, with all your energy and creativity and your passion...
Kanye West has already had plenty of opportunity to realize he crossed the line. And this is after the podcast episode where he talked to some of his friends about the situation, in which they did not challenge him whatsoever. Like, maybe a little bit, but, like, not really. So it's weird for him to just concede in a minute where he's like, oh, somebody's, like, talking back to me and telling me it's not okay. It's not going to last. I feel like it's just for the moment.
You're going to say stuff. The way that you talk constantly and in such an extraordinary manner, you're going to trip up. You're going to say things the wrong way. I don't think there's anything wrong in when you do that, doing what you just did and saying, look, I'm sorry, I crossed the line, I apologize.
I want to say that it's wrong to hold an apology hostage, and I got to let go of that.
What do you mean you're holding your apology hostage? That's weird. Does that not sound weird from like a Hyperion perspective of like interstar actualization? I'm holding my apology hostage. Like that, I mean, I guess that's some serious shadow work. It's like he said something, he doesn't like to admit he's wrong. That's basically what that's a self-report to. I don't like to admit things I'm wrong. I shouldn't hold an apology hostage is the same thing, I feel like is the same way of saying like, I don't like to admit I'm wrong. Does, like, am I going crazy, or is that like not another way of saying that? I don't think it's right to hold an apology wrong versus I don't like to admit that I'm right. Exploring the Holo says, are you seriously going to drink that, Jan? You're going to have to pee. I have to pee anyways, like all the time, permanently, forever. When I go running in the mornings, like I have a running route where there's like public bathroom stops, like periodically, because I can't tell you how much I need to fucking pee all the time.
And free myself of the trauma and say, look, I'm just going to give it all up to God right now and say,
oh, no, not the God talk.
To those families that are hurt, I really want to give you guys a big hug. And I want to, I say, I'm sorry for hurting you in my comments. And I want to word it in not in like a political way, but in a presidential way.
Did he freeze?
Which means what I knew a president to be.
Presidential way?
When I was growing up.
I want to say sorry in the presidential way. Oh my God. So, this is bad. And I would love more than anything to write this off as like silly sort of celebrity drama. But this man is, I believe, actively trying to run for president. And as much as I would like to say that's not gonna fucking happen, Trump happened. And I said the same thing about Trump. I'm like, that's not gonna fucking happen. That's a joke. And it happened! So I'm frightened, okay? Anyways, I found a YouTube... When I was looking through all this stuff, because it was just like a lot, and I watched like most of the podcasts that Kanye had with his friends, doubling down on his anti-Semitism, I'm like, this is so much. I need to, like, I scoured, I'm like, I need to look for like somebody who has like something good to say that actually knows like things. So I found that YouTuber, and yes, I do need to pee again. I feel so bad. Like, I don't know why I have to pee so much. It's because you know what? I blame Exploring the Holos. Because the moment I read you saying, like, you're going to have to pee, I had to pee again. So I'm going to have to ban the word pee. I'm going to have to ban the word pee now. So you all can't say it. So I don't get triggered into peeing. Anyways, all right. Last time, I promise. It's also very hot. Like, I gotta say, like, it's good to stand up periodically and, like, air my butt out. I'm so glad the bathroom is like literally like right next to my room. It's like 80 right now. It's too hot. But you have to realize I live in Central Coast, California, and we don't have air conditioning units in our place. Like, we don't. Because it's like, we only get super hot like 3 weeks out of the year. So we don't have air conditioners, and I don't have a fan. I need like a little desk fan. Like, just like a little, just all up in my face. Exploring the Holos, you were banned from saying the word P. Exploring the Holos says, I want to say that shorter. Can I just say like ETH or something like that? Or EH. Yeah, can I call you EH? So EH says, I'm going to start blaming my behavior on God just to see what happens. There was one thing I read that was really funny. It's like, I want to be like God with my work ethic. So like, if I get things done, it's a miracle. And if I don't get shit done, I'm just working in mysterious ways. I would love that work ethic. Like, wouldn't that be great if that could apply to people? Like, either I'm performing miracles or I'm just working in mysterious ways. Either way. So let's listen to this YouTuber. I just discovered them. This is like the first video I like was poking into, and what in the world? And I like it, so I'm like, I want to see more. Anyway, so this YouTuber's name is Sean C. And they covered Kanye West right here. Really fucking good.
I was going to make this video about a week ago after the DEF CON comments from Kanye, kind of insinuating that Kanye West doesn't need the support of black people anymore. He's moved on from that. Kanye's done. What do I mean by that? When I say Kanye West is done, I don't mean Kanye West's career is over. I don't mean he's done making music. I don't mean that he is at a point of no return. When I say he's done, I mean he's done with a particular group of people. And I think that group of people is niggas. They tell you not to beat a dead horse. And they tell you when you've gotten everything you can out of a particular source of nutrients, maybe, you move on to the next one. You see a bunch of ants or a bunch of insects group around a particular...
Is that an anime poster in the back? I don't know what that is, but I like it.
Food source. They get all they can out of it. They move on to the next one. And I think that's what Kanye West has done. He's drawn a line in the sand, and he's let people know that I've gotten everything that I can out of black people. I've gotten everything that I can out of them musically. I've gotten everything that I can out of them fashion-wise. Now, has Kanye West explicitly come out and said that? Absolutely not. But Kanye West's marketing tactic specifically goes towards a group of people who aren't marketed to in the mass media. He wants a face or a particular group of people, a particular audience to be recognized. And that audience, at least from what I understand, seems to be conservative, alt-right. I watched his Tucker Carlson interview. Crazy, because it's beautiful watching Tucker Carlson pretend to respect, a black man in front of me. Oh my God, I found a black dude that can speak to my white brothers and sisters. A black dude that has garnered a certain level of influence within the black community, so much so that when he wears a White Lives Matter t-shirt, a lot of them will come to his defense, trying to unpack the layers, trying to delve deeper into the messaging, the intricacies.
That drives me bananas. Kanye West came out with his White Lives Matter fashion line, and it was weird. I mean, it's not weird for Candace Owens. Obviously, Candace Owens is like a terrible person, but like she came to his defense, of course. But it's like, what the fuck you doing with that? That's not... If Kanye mess... Kanye mess... Kanye mess. Sorry, I just made myself Kanye mess. If Ye wanted to put forth a very intricate message, it's lost. It's lost. Like, I don't know what it is about Ye, but it's like he's got to try and put a profound philosophical concept with his fashion, but the way he goes about it, is not good. Like, people aren't getting the message he's saying. So if it's like, if there's more to it, if it needs to be unpacked, if there's lots to unpack, like, you think he would dive more into that, but it's not done well. It just, and it's sad because, like, as much as I don't like Kanye West at all, there's like, I don't know, it's like I kind of like some of the fashion. It's like interesting. It's like, I mean, it's like creative, but like, eh.
The spirituals of the
I don't wear Gap, I'll tell you that. I lied. I've worn Hot Topic, which is owned by Gap.
hows and why he wore the shirt. It has to be a deeper meaning. It has to be something.
Is Hot Topic owned by Gap? I swear that was a thing.
Intricate. But when Kanye himself is questioned with this, his response,
Because they do.
so this is a home run for a guy like Tuck. They're willing to give a voice and a platform to any person who is large enough that can promote the ideas that they've been promoting since the beginning. Doesn't matter if they're qualified to speak on these subjects, how experienced or in depth they go into these topics. They don't have to get any detailed response whatsoever. Co-signing our ideals through the eyes of a black man. We're going to have you on. We got to get this on camera. And he's going to the crowd that he thinks can fund his next project the most. Kanye more than likely loses money making music, making albums, but I refrained from posting the video for 2 reasons. Halfway through, I got tired of talking about Kanye West. Literally just stopped recording. And the second reason was because I feel like he's going to make this worse somehow. And I don't want to make 2 Kanye videos. And lo and behold, he did just that. The first, most controversial and most important thing that I feel like should be addressed in the interview were his comments about George Floyd. I'm not going to spend a long time on this.
Kanye West in his podcast with his friend, not his podcast, but in his friend's podcast, really started talking about some weird, was it in the podcast or was it somewhere else? Anyways, Kanye West started to bring up George Floyd and started to literally say, like, the way he died, like, didn't happen and it was all fake and all this stuff. And it was so bad that George Floyd's family is suing Kanye West now. Like, it's like Kanye West has pulled a fucking Alex Jones and now he's getting sued. So we'll see how that goes.
Because for anyone that's buying into conspiracy about George Floyd, they likely want to believe that George Floyd was in the wrong for being put in the position that he was put in, likely want to believe that the reason that he is no longer with us is because of him and him only. So trying to argue with someone out of that ideology is basically a useless battle. And I have multiple links in the description. You can Google this shit yourself. It'll lead you to reports that determine how George Floyd passed away. But let's just say, for the sake of curiosity, I were to entertain said idea from Kanye West and from George Floyd detractors that think he died due to an overdose. Would you still then say that the officer's actions in handling George Floyd were adequate?
No. It doesn't matter if he was on fucking anything. That was the wrong way to handle that shit.
You still say that it's okay to have your knee driving into someone's back, pressing them against the concrete ground for over 5 minutes? Would you still think that even if someone were ODing, that those circumstances and conditions would only exacerbate that issue? I know that's not what was happening. Are you saying that what happened to him should have happened to him, and that is how people should be handled? Because if that's what you're telling me, you're even less rational than I thought you weren't.
Because there should be no situation where it's rational to handle somebody with brutality. Especially when you're somebody who is assigned and in charge of, like, protecting and helping people. When you administer brutality as the way to solve a situation, that doesn't make sense, the way they went about it. I've seen plenty of police videos. I've seen them just automatically cuff people and stick them in the back of the fucking car. I know that was an issue with George Floyd because they were struggling to do that. But anyways, I don't want to get into talking about George Floyd per se. I think I'm just, like, getting off on a tangent. Let's go back.
Diving into Kanye West, he's beyond the point of needing social support. He's at the level, maybe not to the corporations of an Apple or a Tesla. He's at the level where preventing support of his products won't do anything to his bottom line, which is why it was hilarious seeing Lil Boosie's youngins burn their Yeezy, as if that at any point is going to stunt Kanye's career growth. is going to...
Yeah, I'm sorry. Burning your Kanye West merch, even though that might make you feel better, and you should definitely do it, I guess, if that makes you feel better, burning your Kanye merch, it's not going to change anything. I mean, it's a statement for sure, but it's not actually going to change anything.
Stunt the trajectory of Yeezy. He's gotten too big to a point of social controllability, which is also equally as hilarious because he goes on in this interview about being controlled. And that's how capitalism works. You, regardless of your support of a thing, cannot prevent its growth. So you can stop listening to Kanye's music, you can stop buying his shoes, you can stop buying his clothes, his garbage bags. You ain't stopping nothing. If anything, it's the detractors of Kanye West who don't have control over anything. Yet he'll complain on these platforms as if he's the one that's got the least of it. Talks to Nori about BLM, basically insinuates that it's a scam. Then goes on to give these ill-informed, almost YouTube-level conspiratorial takes about Jewish people, about China, as if the Chinese government just wholeheartedly just respects and supports its citizens. And I think it's interesting how Kanye West unintentionally shows anti-blackness in this interview. I don't think there's a problem with discussing the things that hold black people back as a community. But I do think it's an issue when you are so infatuated with the criticism of black people that you so easily jump onto other cultures, not even diving an inch deep into the systemic issues that they have within their own cultures, just to quote us inaccurate information about how well they're doing, compare it to black people in America as if to imply they have the same starting point. I think there's something.
That's what's so bizarre. It's this switch, this sort of presenting, you know, Kanye presenting like fighting for black issues, but then really within that, the truth of that, it's like almost like a bait and switch. It's like the bait and switch is like, oh, I'm being concerned about the black communities and stuff like that, and then it's like, actually, it's anti-Semitism. Which doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It makes no sense.
Something to be said about black people's natural disgust for our conditions to a point where you don't even want to see where you come from. Kanye West is in the 0.00001%. That means he has expedient access, probably more than...
Hey, thank you, Angelique, for your subscription. And Anthony Rojas.
99% of the population of the world. Best thing you can do to a people is try to convince them that everything that's happened to them isn't actually happening, hasn't happened, and they've had the exact same starting point advantages as everyone else. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Jason Whitlock, bitch ass Jason Whitlock, are so easy to throw their support on him. Meanwhile, I guarantee you, if Kanye West asked any of these three, are you voting for me come 2024 when I run for president? They'll probably say no. If you think that I'm lying about this whole let's
what
move
the fuck? Is it me or did like glasses just appear on his face? They did. This motherfucker just had glasses appear on his face. That's amazing. I love it.
Starting point advantages
and
as everyone else.
Mode.
Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Jason Whitlock, bitch ass Jason Whitlock, are so easy to throw their support on him. Meanwhile, I guarantee you, if Kanye West asked any of these three, are you voting for me come 2024 when I run for president? They'll probably say no. If you think that I'm lying about this whole let's move the money to this demographic.
They look great. I love those glasses.
Candace Owens' husband is the owner of the company that Kanye West is about to buy right.
No joke. You know Parler, the right-winged social media platform that was created in the middle of the pandemic? Kanye West is purchasing that platform outright. Interesting. That's going to be hell.
Right now, this free speech platform. So whether Kanye West goes to Drink Champs or whether he goes to Parler, he is still being exploited. But I do believe, in his defense, that there is an end goal for him. George Farmer is the CEO of Parler, the new company that Kanye West has just purchased. Parler has had a tumultuous history and has been at the forefront of several scandals since its inception in 2018. Marketed as a social media safe haven for free speech, critics argue it was designed as a response to the perceived censorship of former President Donald Trump and his supporters. It cannot be denied that the app caters to a very bizarre and mostly right-wing demographic. The site is also a breeding ground for QAnon. The app was pulled from stores but returned to the Apple Store in May of 2021 after a new CEO had taken over in March. The new head of Parler was English-born consecutive activist George Farmer. Since taking over, George Farmer has struggled to save the company. The app has yet to reach the membership numbers it had before going offline, which some allege was as high as 15 million. He donated £2 million to the Brexit campaign and was the head of conservative think tank Turning Point UK. His family made their money in land and metals trading, and he's married to controversial conservative pundit
Candace Owens. We have yet to cover Candace Owens. We will soon.
Candace Owens. That's interesting. It's almost like this social media app might be a breeding ground for people who believe the same conspiracies that Kanye West has been spewing. But maybe that means that Kanye West isn't completely wholeheartedly genuine about these things that he's been talking about and just wants people to feel like they're safe in this new space that he's about to create for them. Possibly a new space too. I don't know. Market his new clothing, market his new ideas, a place for people to support Kanye West who don't necessarily care about the material and the music he's already released, but instead are going to support his new ideas because they align with what they also believe in. As long as it goes against this side, the other side will eat it completely up. And that's how I'm going to make my next 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700. That's where it needs to come from. And that's not for no reason. Speaking of no reason, let's talk about no reason. We already know that Kanye West is being exploited from the right. I guess my respect for the right comes from the fact that they don't hide it. They make it very known that they want high up black people to promote ideas that they believe themselves. They just would love to come from the voice of a black male so that people can't call them racist for it. You know what I hate about interviews, especially male only interviews? These niggas will never hold themselves accountable in each other's face. No Re went on Hot 97 to talk about how he regrets his 3.5-hour interview with Kanye West that he greenlit, okayed, and readied for posting. Bragged about on Twitter that it was viewed more times in the football game, that he's taking control over the internet for the day. But when Kanye West was in front of him, nothing. Nothing. No sternness, no strength, no weight or depth behind his voice when he's talking about these issues that Kanye West is clearly misinformed about. But is it worth having a spine when you know that you're about to get massive traction in the media the next day? No. It takes a lot of balls to apologize to a family after platforming the man who just disrespected their family. Kanye, it takes a lot of balls to donate $2 million to the daughter.
Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Glad you could drop in. Yeah, you're kind of just jumping in here. So, Michelle says, I thought Floyd's family sued and won. I think they're suing. I don't think they've won yet. I think it's still, like, in motion because it's, like, literally just this week. But they're definitely suing. It's awful. My God.
Of the man who was taken away from her due to the actions of a cop. The actions that you deny were even contributing factors to his death. I'm sure she'll be really happy to hear that when she gets older. No, am I asking him to take it down? Absolutely not. I would just prefer, and y'all know how I feel about people standing on their decisions, if he just stood on it. Hey, y'all, Kanye said some wild shit, but he a grown man, and I couldn't stop him. Thanks for the views. You know you can't stop Kanye from being Kanye and talking, but you can interrupt him. An interruption or a correction isn't silencing. It's being consistent with accuracy. Well, I say there's a deep evil in hip-hop media especially, because generally speaking, they are the most accessible content creators that can implement the quickest change for better results, for interviews, for perception, and information to the general public. Access that you wouldn't get if you tried to go to the head of Fox News or CNN. No, these people have the ability to alter their interview process. I find it ironic that Kanye West decided to have his interview with Drink Champs, owned by Revolt, owned by Diddy, who he just criticized for taking orders from Jewish people. I find it very funny that he did that. So when I see such blatant hypocrisy, it always leads me to believe that there's a bigger reason or a bigger motivation for having these talking points. They just seem so copy and paste. None of it seems like an original thought. It seems like it was all put together in some private headquarters where the...
That's all right-wing content. That's all right-wing takes. It's like the same take generated and spread out to every outlet.
Like, okay, Kanye, this is how you get the white conservative demographic on your side. Which, if he is doing that, objectively speaking, is good business. But this is also why I said he no longer needs black people, because his future business ventures will be off of the back of his new fan base, the fan base that doesn't even probably know his music.
And I'm jealous of the Jewish community. I'm jealous of the way Jewish people do business. And I'm jealous not just for me, but for our entire culture.
Kanye West isn't jealous of the Chinese. He's not jealous of Jewish people. Kanye West is ignorant to the fact that when you bring in a people from another land and you separate them from each other and force them to work in slave-like conditions, preventing them from learning about their history, ancestry, or their lineage, you prevent them from being able to come together like the Jewish, prevent them from being able to stand under their own nation like the Chinese. Kanye West isn't jealous of these cultures. Kanye West just doesn't have a home. Kanye West just doesn't know where he comes from, like most black people in this country. That's why black people get taken from so much in this country, because black culture and American culture get intertwined so often. But if you tell Kanye West something like this, it'll force him to recant on those comments he made 4 years ago about 400 years being a choice. It would immediately conflict with a lot of his existing views that I don't think he genuinely cares about to the extent that he would go and research them in depth to make sure that he was properly informed about everything that he was talking about, because I don't believe the motive here is about information. I believe the motive here is about money. He sucked all the life.
Yep. Did Kanye West not ask Piers Morgan, how much do you make? He asked him, how much do you make? And Piers Morgan said, very vehemently, not as much as you. And that's when Kanye West was like, well, that's why you should listen to me and you need advice. So Kanye West is not equating what he's saying as something rational. He's equating it as being rational because he's a billionaire. Does that make sense? He's not saying, oh, what I'm saying is rational because it's rational. It's rational because I'm a billionaire and I'm richer and I'm more successful. So that means what I say is better. This is so anti-Hyperion. It's so anti-Hyperion for billionaires to just spew their bullshit logic that dominates humanity, that dominates the way humanity should live and should be. This is gross. Gross.
That he can out of the average black person for about as much as he can get. We've supported him musically. We've supported him through his merch, but there is a faucet that Kanye West has not yet tapped into, and it is this conspiratorial, Trump is my brother, George Floyd didn't really die like that. It's the Chinese demographic of individual that he has not yet squeezed the life out of, and I believe that's his next target. If you ask me genuinely, I don't believe this is some public mental breakdown. I believe he's been gearing up for a shift for a minute now, and that marketing started with his White Lives Matter shirt. He's just gonna keep going. Am I mad? Not really. I just don't like being gaslit. Till we get more information, y'all let me know how you felt about it in the comment section down below. Do you think this is genuine, or do you think there's a bigger plan? Just complete fucking idiots.
The bigger plan is Kanye West is being exploited for the right-wing agenda and the white supremacist agenda. And there's something wrong with Kanye West when he thinks this is a good idea. For him, this is a pure business move. It's not a move of logic and reason. It's not a move to make humanity better. It's purely on money. Like I said, Piers Morgan said, how much do you make? Or no, Kanye West is like, how much do you make? Piers Morgan says, not as much as you. Kanye West is like, oh, you should listen to me then. It's bullshit. Anyways. Oh, Mark, thank you so much for the super chat. I really love that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's amazing. Let's see. Wrapping up on Kanye West. Let me look. I think I want to, hold on. Kanye West. Drink champs. I want to see it, but like through Hassan Piker. Let's see what we can. Okay, let's watch a little bit of this, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Now, there's some parts that I missed where he mentioned George Floyd. I mean, this is like the most disrespectful.
I watched.
From what I understand, it ranges from like hyper anti-Semitic shit to like very anti-black bullshit that you hear from Candace Owens, like verbatim. This is a Candace Owens line, from what I understand.
So this is like the podcast that I was telling you about that he was on with his friends, the Drink Champs.
Understand verbatim.
Watch the George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his two roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me.
they want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes.
What?
He said a prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck.
That is...
Sorry, I don't mean to scream directly in the microphone, but that is so insane and so appalling. I just can't do anything but scream.
Just straight up white supremacist conspiracy theory through and through, top to bottom, start to finish. It's one that Candace Owens was like a big champion of on Facebook. She popped off for that because Candace Owens' entire purpose is to be the black face of white supremacy. Her job is to literally say the same things that, like, Klan members and incredibly racist white people say, white supremacists say, but as a black woman. That is what she makes money off of. Is Ye too far gone? Yes.
Like that. When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary.
What? What? I don't know what this Candace Owens documentary is, but I don't want to see it.
But something that hit me, that fucked me up when I was watching the documentary, and it said they
Bro, it's not a documentary, man. It's not. You watched like unhinged ramblings of white supremacist psychos that purposely cut agitated propaganda to make it seem like a black dude who was executed in broad daylight by a functioning military arm of the fucking state. It was created to make you feel differently about that situation. And it was mostly created with the purpose of giving white people the opportunity to feel better about their white supremacist values and attitudes.
Ew, I hate that.
Who you think he reminded me of? I was watching the documentary, and it said they want a tall guy like me. When I looked at that image of him, this tall black dude with the bald head, he reminded me of somebody else. Who you think he reminded me of?
Virgil.
He reminded me of Virgil. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna cry in front of y'all because that's how they get me, right?
Right.
But I know that we lost him. And I know that this white company, Louis Vuitton, is now making statues of him, like as a martyr. And we don't know why exactly. We say it's cancer.
What?
But I mean, all right. I want to be careful with this subject because.
Wait a second, but tell me.
Oh, you're gonna be careful now? Now you're gonna be careful?
Could you even really run this?
Dude, that's crazy. He's like, I want to be careful with this subject. Not what you just said about George Floyd, but what you were saying, what you're about to say about Virgil Abloh. That's where the carefulness kicks in. Not for like the 8 different moments where he's just saying like insane, unhinged shit about Jewish people. Bro, if you wanted to be, if you wanted to be careful, you should not have cut this video or even released it, or made him drink when he's like very clearly going through this fucking manic episode.
Yeah, that's weird. Why is he getting drunk? Like, when he's like going through a manic episode.
This interview, because Mav didn't run my interview.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They blocked me out. The Jewish media blocked me out.
Dude.
This shit lit, right? I'm lit, right? I'm lit.
Right.
I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? JP Morgan, I put $140 million.
The JP Morgan thing, by the way, is another fucking insane moment that was weaponized by the likes of Kanye, Candace Owens. Turns out he wanted to take his money out. And was like literally naming fucking people that worked at the bank. These fucking banks don't give a shit, okay? They don't give a shit, especially when you're rich. They work with literal terror groups, okay? They don't give a fuck. They just want the money. So for a bank to drop you when you have hundreds of millions of dollars at that bank, you had to go above and beyond. Turns out he did. Turns out he actually did. He literally went above and beyond. He was naming fucking executives and shit.
And the JP Morgan, and they treated me like shit. So if JP Morgan Chase is treating me like that, how they treating the rest of y'all?
That's outrageous, yeah.
And there's murderers with Chase accounts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I am outraged. By the time people always, they want to calm it down.
Because no matter what, you didn't break no law.
I didn't break a law.
No matter what.
So Kanye West has this weird reasoning where the things he's saying about Jewish people is okay because his reasoning, it's okay to say it because he's not actually performing the Holocaust. He's not actually personally, physically harming Jewish people, so it's okay. Which is weird because it's a fucked up logic. It really is a fucked up logic because it pretty much puts the premise out that it's okay for like some white guy to lynch a black guy. Or no, it's okay to be, it's like, it's okay for a white guy to say racist things. It's like, well, it's okay for a white guy to say racist things as long as they're not lynching black people. When it's been proven time and time again by many professionals in this kind of area, that language that surround, like racist language, does eventually encourage people to harm the people that the language is attacking. Does that make sense? All right? The Holocaust has already happened. Jewish people have and are continuing to be treated poorly because of certain racist ideas. Continuing this day and age to revive that language. Revive the language that dehumanizes Jewish people. That's going to end somewhere dangerous. It's dangerous language.
The bank shouldn't be a judge or jury on anything that's going on. But this is, it's like a social contract. Candace Owens has a word for it, I'm forgetting it. But it's basically like they told Candace Owens she couldn't hang out with me. You know, I'm here.
Bro, if the irony is, like, if he had listened to one single fucking adult that had his best interest in mind, maybe not personally his best interest, but like the bag in mind, he would probably not be here. Okay? He would not be going through this.
No, but that's what I'm saying. And even on the personal level, like, is there not anybody in his personal life that's like, hey, man, let's go play some basketball, or let's not fucking talk about this, or fucking don't do this shit. It's not okay. Like, is there nobody in his life that's like not a yes man?
It's fucking insane. Like, his ego is so crazy, man. It's not just.
Also, I want to remind you how Christian Kanye West is. Like, he's so, like, just so very fucking Christian. He's a Christian extremist. 100%. He has his own fucking church, for God's sakes.
Fucking bipolar mania. He also already has like ego on super drive, so he's just like, no, I will literally fucking be with. Oh, you don't want me to hang out with Candace Owens? I'm gonna hang out with her extra hard. You don't want me saying that stuff that she's saying? I'm gonna fucking be the #1 mouthpiece for Candace Owens's takes. Like, she's just insanely. He's just so contrarian. He has to. He has to be contrarian. Like, a lot of the people that probably told him, like, yo, stop fucking around with this white supremacy shit. What are you doing? We're probably thinking about it not as a means of, like, preserving Kanye West and his legacy or whatever. Maybe some were. But he literally was just like, dude, you're fucking the bag up. You're going to fuck yourself up. He saw that as like, oh, yeah, well, I'm Kanye. Like, I can do that. And I can get over it. And I can continue going further and further into it. It's not just the white supremacist and anti-Semitic ideologies that he's presenting in this interview are not born out of, a legitimate disdain or because he read the fucking Turner Diaries or some shit. It's literally because the sparking moment was his fucking egomaniacal tendencies. Like,
I've said it before a billion times, and I'll say it a billion times more. If you do not do your shadow work, and you try to integrate your power self before you do shadow work, your power self is going to be drunk off shadow, of all the shadow content that you did not look into. Your power self is going to be drunk off the shadow content, and you're going to be an ass 100% when you do not do your shadow work and you start trying to be a powerful authoritative figure. You're drunk off power, you're drunk off shadow, you're drunk off just being big for the sake of being big, and you're not actually doing anything altruistic or that has all of humanity in your heart. As we've already discussed before, Kanye West isn't doing all this shit because he actually has good ideas. He's doing this shit for money. He's still nuts. He still has these crazy ideas, but he's money motivated. He is a billionaire. He is a capitalistic pig.
He just straight up was just like, oh, yeah, you don't want me to do this? Well, I'm going to do it extra hard. Like a child. And you're fucking 50 years old. That's crazy. He was talking about the Chinese? Oh, no.
To have the black vote be in groupthink and to not separate from the thought and being completely in line with the agenda of the left, the Jewish media, and the Chinese.
There's a lot of...
What? What the fuck? Bro, he's not masking it. He's just going... The Chinese? What? Like, I don't want to glance over the full Nazi take there. Okay.
Full Nazi. Kanye West has gone full Nazi.
Okay. Where he just goes Jewish media. But what?
Heretical response says, do presidential candidates receive psychological evaluations? No, the fuck they do not.
Jewish media and the Chinese.
There's a lot of Chinese things got something to do with it?
They got something to do with everything. This is my issue.
Oh, I want to talk about what FD Signifier said. Ye speaks his anti-black conservative talking points too cogently and effectively to blame it on mental illness. He may be in a state of mania to say it so loudly, but the rhetoric is his own.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
That's a really good take, I think, because, like, I want to be as careful as possible not to just, like, take all the blame away from Kanye West here. Because, you know, yes, while he is in a manic state, it's very obvious that it's not just his mania that is causing him to say these things, okay?
We made the White Lives Matter tees, and then when I put up the tweet, the DEF CON tweet, nah, he ain't releasing the tee because he's Jewish. And I'm like, see, this is my exact point that I'm making. Like, Jewish people have owned the black voice, whether it's through us wearing a Ralph Lauren.
Bro, he's so... I mean, this is like straight up. It's divide and conquer. It's just straight up like the age-old anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. He talked about the White Lives Matter shirt, the Jewish media, and Planned Parenthood.
Of is from American Apparel.
Okay.
But I'm talking about put out my White Lives Matter tee. The White Lives Matter tee don't say nothing. It don't say DEF CON or nothing on it, right? I'm like, put it out. And he's telling me, like, yo, I want you to visit the Holocaust Museum. And I was like, yo, I want you to visit Planned Parenthood. That's our Holocaust Museum. I'm like, yo, I put my life on this at this point. Because they've been fucking with me too long. They put the crazy narrative out there. My Jewish trainer, Harley Pasternak, who's Lizzo's trainer, put it out when I went to the hospital, put it in the press. I got a bunch of friends that went to the hospital. It didn't go to the press.
Bro, the fact that he's just like constantly naming Jewish people around him is immediately alarming. Even if he did this for not white, obviously, because white is a concept of power. It's entirely separate. But even if he was like my Italian trainer, my Italian this, my Italian chef, like you'd be like, what the fuck is up with this guy?
They did that just like they did in the documentary on the 3rd episode to say, we love Ye like the rest of y'all. We know he a genius like the rest of y'all, but sometimes you got to turn the camera off on him.
I think I've had enough of this. I think we've gotten the point, and honestly, I really did not want to do a follow-up of Kanye West today, but it's still going. It's still going. He's buying Parler, the main right-wing media platform. He already said shit against George Floyd. Now he's getting sued by the family. everything he says is super anti-Semitic and totally like white supremacist. As we watched the last YouTuber, it's of his opinion, and obviously it's not the full, it's not like the opinion of all, but it was a really good insight to how he's literally given up on his own people, and he's moving to attract white supremacists in order to have monetary gain, in order to make money. It's totally rich elite like nonsense. But I think I've had enough of this. Like, I've had enough. As a Hyperion, it makes me angry. It makes me angry and mad that somebody like Kanye West can just go on several forms of major media, major networks, and just spew this crappy like anti-Semitism shit, this weird Zionistic fucking conspiracy bullshit about Jewish people being in control of the top. It's bullcrap. It's total pure Nazi bullshit. Anybody who goes into some weird, nonsensical Jewish people control the world shit is a weird Zionist conspiracist like fucking nut job. 100%. 100%. It makes me angry. Because Jewish people, it's not just Judaism, it's not just religious with Jewish people. I mean, it's like Jewish people. Come on. Like, they're people. Anyways, I want to move on now. Let's talk in the chat room just a little bit, take a break, and then let's move on to Jessie Gender, and then we're going to wrap up for the evening. I kind of wanted to do Alex Jones. I think I'll take that out of the title. I'm not sure. I might do that next week, or I might forget it. So, Heretical Response says, Trump didn't really strike me as somebody with a sound mind. No. He's like the opposite of reason. Oh, and good night, Melinda. Melinda probably already went to bed, but good night, Melinda. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on between Kanye and his wife still, but, Kim is a rich woman and can't get her ex to stop harassing her. Well, can anybody really get their ex to stop harassing them? There's actually been a lot of attention brought to, like, his abuse. Alleged abuse. I have to say alleged. Banquet beer. Yeah. Coors. It's, I call it barley pops. It's like if you just want to drink beer to just taste the beer, get Coors. No is a complete sentence. True. All right, shall we move on to Jessie Gender? I think we shall. So Jessie Gender, I covered Jessie Gender's first video about critiquing Matt Walsh, and it was so fucking good. It was so amazing. It was so fucking amazing. She did such a good job. And she had a second part to add to it. And it took her months to work on. Like a long time to work on. It was a 4-hour video that I actually have not been able to see. Some people were able to see it before it got taken down. So YouTube took down her video because apparently it violated community guideline standards of YouTube, which is horseshit. Because when they took the video down and informed her that it violated community guidelines, they did not specify precisely what or where. And so when YouTube's like, hey, there's something in your video that's wrong, so we had to remove it, you need to take care of that. It's like, what part, where in my 4-hour fucking video is wrong? So I'm really angry about this, and I just want to listen to Jessie Gender explain what's going on, because I'm so angry we can't watch the video of her critiquing Matt Walsh because I feel like it's super important. And I'm mad that I missed it. Oh no, I lost my cursor again. What the Okay, there it is. All right. Thank you, Hassan. We love Hassan. Anyways, on to Jessie Gender.
Hello, interwebs. I hope you're all doing well. Unfortunately, this is going to be a video where I'm going to vent my frustrations at a situation that I find to be deeply troubling, honestly disturbing, anger-inducing, frustrating, and one that I think really needs discussion and correction, especially on YouTube's part, because the fact that this situation was allowed to happen really upsets me and disturbs me, and I think points out some hypocrisies that I think YouTube needs to really address, and I think we need to start discussing it about this platform and how it treats LGBTQ creators. This is nothing new, but I think this specific situation elucidates a problem that has been growing and growing and growing on YouTube, and honestly just needs to be really thought of and discussed. So, to get to all of that, I'm going to provide an update about a situation that happened yesterday. If you caught the video that I released yesterday, some of you already may be aware of the fact that on Friday, I released a video that I had been planning for a very long time. I was really, really proud of it. It was a video that I thought was going to be very helpful. I thought did some creative things within the work of it, and actually was going to discuss a topic that really needed discussion, and that was my 4-hour long, I know I like to make really long videos, video dissecting and going over and debunking the transphobia within Matt Walsh being a host of the right-wing Daily Wire channel's documentary, quote-unquote documentary there, What
Matt Walsh is insane.
Is a Woman. The video went through all of the issues with the documentary. I pointed out facts and like literal things that he lies about and misconstrues or vilifies around transgender people and transgender healthcare and more beyond that. It was a video that went upon all these different things that were a problem with Matt Walsh specifically, but also a lot of right-wing rhetoric around trans people and LGBTQ people in general. And I think it was a really important video, not just because I made it, but I think it's a topic that needs more discussion whether or not I made the content or not. So I think that it was something that was deeply, deeply needed, considering all the misinformation that is being spread around trans people.
There is so much misinformation going on about trans people right now. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. I mean, everybody who isn't trans is trying to dictate what trans people need or don't need. It needs some backlashing. It really does. Like, we need more trans people to step up and speak out. And Jessie Gender is one of those trans people that speaks up and speaks out and it's getting silenced, and that disturbs me. It disturbs me that so many weird ass ideas about trans people are spread around by non-trans people, by cisgender people, by Matt Walsh in particular, among other people. But yet when it's criticized and when it's examined by somebody who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about in this issue, as a trans person, as a trans woman who's gone through many issues of this and has experienced this life, when Matt Walsh is criticized, suddenly they take her video down. That disturbs me. It disturbs me. It disturbs me that Matt Walsh is a major person that can put anything out that he wants to say, but when it's properly critiqued and criticized and examined and challenged, suddenly that's not okay. And this is just a total war of ideas, war of the mind. We live in a very Christian, here in America, we live in a very Christian nationalist, right-winged nation, and it does need challenging. But if the challenge is constantly silenced while right-wing people continue to complain and then make their own like little parlor site and be like, oh, that's where we can be racist and transphobic, like, it's like, well, if you have a space to be racist and transphobic, then go over there. Like, I don't like that this particular content is being removed by YouTube without more careful examination by YouTube itself.
Unfortunately, about 3 hours after that video went up, after it had gotten a decent amount of momentum in the algorithm, which is really great to see for a 4-hour video. When you put out a big video like that, it's always scary to see if it's going to get momentum. It got 13,000 views in the first few hours, which is amazing, especially for my content. It got taken down, and when I say taken down, it got removed. By YouTube
removed.
For,
like,
quote,
axed.
violating their sex and nudity community guideline policy here on YouTube. So when I say removed, I mean literally the language they moved was removed. And this is the first time I have ever gotten a community strike on this channel. And that is a really important thing to discuss the difference between this and something like a copyright strike or an age gate. Many of you have probably heard how YouTube does copyright strikes, where like if you put up a video and it has like a clip from a TV show or something, it can get blocked by the people who own that copyright, and you can dispute it whether it's fair use or things like that.
Right.
And there's whole nuances around the laws of that and the specifics how to use fair use guidelines. They give you 3 strikes with that, but they've done a lot of work in their back end to actually, I will say, it's not perfect, but improve that system. Still gives a lot of power to the copyright holder, even when you're legally using clips and commenting on them. But there is some nuance where it doesn't like immediately take down your stuff. You can get your, it doesn't like immediately demonetize stuff in certain cases.
Right.
So while I still have issues with that system, a lot of them.
Okay, look, ever since I got monetized, like, every other live stream is partially demonetized. And not fully demonetized, but, like, partially. Because there's, like, a few minutes of a song that's, like, by somebody else, and they claim that they copyright it. But then it's like, I get a notification, I get an email that says, YouTube has recognized that there's some copyright issues. But they always tell me, like, your video is still viewable, we just have to partially demonetize it so that we give that monetization to somebody else. So, Exploring the Holo says, is there no way to communicate with the administration of YouTube? No, it's really sad. Like, there's a wall there. Oh, Cassie says, I'm going to head to bed. Good night, everyone. Good night, Chan. Good night, Cassie. I love you. Cassie's my lovely friend and my sister. Good night, love. Oh, and thank you, Cassie, for moderating tonight. We love you.
Is much more nuanced than what's happened here. The next system that they have is age gating. Now, what age gating does is
We're talking about age restriction and age gating for YouTube videos.
Recognizes that content may have nudity in it, may have violence in it that may not be appropriate for all ages, but still allows the video to go public and does not constitute any issue with your channel. It just sort of keeps it at 18 plus. Now there are issues even with that as well. Sometimes the age gating flag is not always appropriate. I think I've gotten my own content flag for age gating that I don't think constitutes it, as well as the fact that it requires people to log in to be able to see your video on YouTube, which can really hurt it in the algorithm, and also some people out there don't want to have logins for YouTube.
I remember when Jessie Gender released her video about sexuality in Star Trek, and it was like a lovely video, like, but it like was, I don't think it was taken down. It was just like blocked for a minute because it was the discussion of sexuality in Star Trek. However, there was no like sexual violations or sexual like and weird stuff in the actual video that Jessie Gender like put out. So it was really confusing. It's like, come on, man. And luckily that was brought back, which was really fucking good, by the way. I share such a profound love of Star Trek with Jessie Gender. So whenever Jessie Gender like takes an episode of Star Trek, in fact, I don't know if Jessie Gender has actually done her special series where I forget what it's called. No, it's at the tip of my tongue. I feel so bad now because I love it. But she essentially takes certain Star Trek episodes and derives a good lesson from it. And one of the ones I covered that's like my favorite is Jessie Gender's cover on a specific episode of Star Trek Voyager where Captain Janeway and her crew literally encounters the archetype of fear. And it's amazing. It's like my favorite video ever. And in fact, I've seen it, I feel like 5 times over, if not like 10. Anyways.
Considering that in some places it requires you have IDs to log in and things like that. And that's a lot of public information to give a platform, which is I totally understand.
Yeah, so Heretical Response says the first interracial kiss was on Star Trek. It's true. Star Trek was profoundly progressive. Like, straight up, there were scenes, like, okay, so there's like, oh, what's the one planet? Let's see. Risa? I think it's planet Risa. Star Trek planet Risa. I think it's Risa. No. Is it Risa? So it's this planet. It's like a planet in the solar system. And it's essentially like the Hawaii planet. And it's like everybody there is just lucky, go happy, go free. And it's very, it's not like super sexual, but they do have the mentality of like being open in sexuality. So you can just like have a drink with somebody and like hook up with them. And it's like perfectly normal. You know, orgies and stuff. But like Gene Roddenberry straight up like within that like conceptualization was like, I want homosexuals. I want queers. I want every fucking type of relationship you can possibly put together to be portrayed in this thing. So Gene Roddenberry was very fucking progressive. It was a really good episode. Anyway, sorry, I got off on a tangent again.
So again, while I don't love age gating, there are nuances there. What a community strike, though, is literally YouTube telling me that I broke their community guidelines, that I did something like actually wrong. Like, not that there's like nuance.
Okay, so this is what bugs me, is YouTube pretty much told Jessie Gender, you did something wrong. But they didn't say what. You did something wrong. Your video is fucked up. You fucked up. And you need to think about what you did. Without actually telling her what the fuck she did.
Of it or copyright stuff, like, no, like, you did something wrong. You violated our community guidelines. And I take that personally as a creator out here who wants to build community, who wants to build trust in my platform with my community, with YouTube. To say that I violated community guidelines, I take that as very personal. Even more so, while this first one, because this is the first time that this has ever happened on my channel, was given to me a warning. If it happens again, quote unquote, in their mind, I contest, and we'll get to that in a second, whether this was even constitutes me having done.
So they took down her video. They said this violates community guidelines. They didn't tell her precisely what or where. They're saying you have to look at your content and figure out what it is. And it's a 4-hour-long video, so it's like, what within that 4-hour video is wrong? And then, but then on top of it, like, YouTube's like, you violated community guidelines. You violated the safety of things. And Jessie Gender's like, wait a minute. My community has been built around nothing but safety and exploration and rationality and fun. And in fact, I would almost view, I view Jessie Gender's YouTube channel as a sort of Enterprise, like Enterprise is in the Starship Enterprise from Star Trek. It's like Jessie Gender's YouTube channel is a ship of exploration to explore controversial ideas, and a lot of that surrounds LGBTQ issues. And so it's like an alien coming up and being like, you're not actually a safe person, you're not a safe ethical person, we need to take you down. And Jessie Gender's like, hold on, wait a minute, what the fuck are we talking about here?
That but then if it happens again, I get a strike. 3 strikes, your channel gets deleted. And also if I get a strike for the first time,
so she got a strike, they took the video down, and they're saying the next violation will be another strike. So she's not sure what part she needs to correct in her 4-hour video in order for her to upload it again and avoid a second strike. That's the problem with YouTube not communicating very well what the fuck is going on.
They warned me in this email that they sent me that my channel would not be allowed to upload things for an entire week, nor would I be able to live stream, which hurts my livelihood, ability to pay my bills, which I find very anger-inducing that they threaten me with that.
And that pisses me off because I'm a big supporter of Jessie Gender. I love Jessie Gender, and I am a subscriber to her Patreon, and it makes me mad that her livelihood is being threatened, because one of the reasons why I wanted to support Jessie Gender, not only did I want to support Jessie Gender because I love her content, but I want to see her thrive well, so I want to contribute to that. So this makes me angry when it's like I'm contributing to this creator that I love for them to thrive, and I'm seeing their livelihood being threatened. That makes me angry. I feel like I'm being threatened too. Like, hey, like, this is our community. What the fuck you're doing? You're threatening our community.
Given the fact that I don't consider what happened in this situation to have violated their policy at all. So let's talk about that and why I am so deeply angry about this specific situation. Because you see, in my initial video where I talked about my frustration with this, I said that there was no nudity in the video at all, and I was deeply shocked by this revelation.
So their idea, when she repealed the violation, they came back and said, well, it's like a sexual nudity thing. When there's literally nothing in her Matt Walsh critique that's sexual or nude, except for maybe the weird naked mannequin in the background, but it's a mannequin. It's like it doesn't have any details of details of its anatomy in it. So that's silly. It makes me want to like buy like 10 mannequins and like set them up behind me and just see what the fuck YouTube does. Because if I do that and YouTube doesn't do anything, then it's like, what the fuck are you doing with Jessie Gender?
Now, having gone over and looked at the video with a fine-tooth comb just to make doubly sure, I will say there are 2 additional clips that might constitute, 3 things that might constitute what YouTube consider to be nudity or sex. However, I do not think that any of these 3 clips violate their policy in any way, shape, or form, do not violate their community guidelines in any way, shape, or form, and the fact that they said that it did, honestly pisses me off, and honestly for reasons that I need to discuss, that I think honestly is very offensive to me as an LGBTQ creator and a creator who likes to educate.
Frankly, I mean, this is speculation. When I say this, it really is speculation, because we just really don't know the reasons why, but it kind of seems like YouTube took down her video because it was more supportive of LGBTQ and trans. It's weird that Matt Walsh gets to post on YouTube whatever he wants, but when he's critiqued, suddenly it's taken down.
Kate, about these types of topics, for what it means if these things were the reason that this video got flagged for sex and nudity. Now, before I even get to the 3 clips that might have gotten flagged and why I take issue with them, the big issue that I have here is that I have to guess what these 3 clips were. Because as I showed in my first video, when YouTube gives you this sort of strike or violation against your channel, what it'll do is it'll give you, and I'll show a video of it here, it'll show you this appeals process that you can go through. But what it'll say is, review your video. And the wording that it's used is almost shaming. It says, check your video to learn why you didn't violate our policy. But it provides no time codes. So my video is 4 hours long.
YouTube says check your video because it violates community guidelines, but it doesn't give any timestamps. YouTube says check out your video and look through it to see where you violated it. It's like sit in the corner and think about what you did when you're like, I don't know what I did. Why didn't you tell me?
So I have to sit through a 4-hour video and guess what the problem was. You don't give time codes, and the fact that you are the one that's saying I violated policy, which means that you must have had a specific section to say that I violated that policy, you can provide me time codes so that I don't have to guess what the problem is.
Right.
Instead of just sitting there shaming me from on high saying, guess what the problem was. It feels like very much like a parent telling you to sit in the corner. Especially considering, again, the fact that I don't think I violated policies at all. Let's get into that. The first clip that might have possibly triggered this nudity and sex violation was a clip of a mannequin that I have in the video. This is not nudity, it's a mannequin. I hope I don't need to say any more than that. There are many videos on YouTube that feature mannequins. The mannequin that you see in this video is actually used in a horror sequence in the video, and there are numerous video game sequences with clips on YouTube where you see mannequins naked in horror sequences. It's not sexual, it's not nudity because it's not even a person, so I am deeply frustrated that if that is the one that caused this. The second possible clip that occurred is during the video, I show a clip from Matt Walsh's What is Woman, by the way, not my own clip, Matt Walsh's, of Matt interviewing a nudist. And in the clip, the man is, you can see, a decent chunk of his body, though he is wearing a cock sock, and so he actually is covering his nudity, and he is in public in the clip, so his nudity at that stage, the amount of nudity that he's showing is legal in public. So if it's legal in public, I'm shocked that it's not allowed in a video like this. But anyways, the clip itself is literally about the man talking to Walsh about how nudity is not inherently sexual. And the man is absolutely correct.
You worry about kids walking around out here?
No, because I raised 2 daughters. They're 2 of the most well-adjusted adults. They grew up around naked people, and there's been studies that have shown that children raised around non-sexual nudity actually have fewer hang-ups when they're adults.
People do have hang-ups. There's a lot of things hanging right now during this conversation.
That clip that you just saw.
That was actually really funny. I hate Matt Walsh, but that was really funny. Like, the guy's like, my daughters have no hang-ups about nude people. And Matt Walsh is straight up like, there's a lot hanging right now. That was actually really funny.
I raised 2 daughters. They're 2 of the most well-adjusted adults. They grew up around naked people, and there's been studies that have shown that children raised around non-sexual nudity actually have fewer hang-ups when they're adults.
People do have hang-ups. There's a lot of things hanging right now during this conversation.
That clip that you just saw was an edited version of that clip. But
that was funny.
In that clip, it is not inherently sexual to show that nudity. Now, here's the other thing with that. Maybe some of you would be like, well, Jesse, that is very close to showing a lot of nudity. I even, kind of pushed in on that clip that I showed you just now. So maybe you're like, well, Jesse, that is a bit of nudity. Let me point you back to YouTube's content violation policy. They say in their policy, we review educational, documentary, artistic, and science content at a case-by-case basis. Limited exceptions are made for content with sufficient and appropriate context where the purpose of posting is clear. So, what I would argue is that this clip is educational and in numerous different contexts. Number one, I am using it to educate about a clip about Matt Walsh and why Matt Walsh is incorrect in his vilifying of this man showcasing nudity. So it's educational in the context that I'm talking about the video. It's educational in the sense that the man is educating about why nudity is inherently sexual. So there's that aspect of it. And I would even argue that it's a documentary because I'm talking about Matt Walsh's own documentary. as well as the fact that my video myself might constitute a documentary about his documentary.
Right.
So I think it fits those three criteria that would qualify for the case-by-case basis. By saying, if this is the clip that they say is constituting sex and nudity, then they're already inherently agreeing with Matt Walsh in that.
Yeah, so Heretical Response says there's a Korean bathhouse I go to called Spot. I don't know how to pronounce this. Forgive me. Jeju. Anyways, that has naked everyone using the facility, and it's a family-friendly place. Yeah, very interesting. There is so much of culture and humanity where nakedness is just non-sexual. It's like Western culture, like this Christian nationalist Western culture that shames nudity and constantly labels it as purely sexual no matter what in any instance, when people can, like, there is a possibility for humanity to be like nude out on the beach and shit, and it's like not going to torment and torture people.
Clip, Matt Walsh is literally saying that any nudity is inherently a sexualized thing. That's literally the point that he's making in the documentary, which I find deeply offensive because he's absolutely wrong in that. And it's how he makes an argument to sexualize not only just people's bodies, but LGBTQ people and trans people specifically. It's the basis for his argument, thereby leading to his transphobic arguments that he's making in the film. So if this is what YouTube is saying constitutes a violation of their sex and nudity policy, in their own words, constitutes non-consensual sex activity, unwanted sexualization, or otherwise degrading sexualizing of an individual, then they're inherently agreeing with Matt Walsh. They're inherently agreeing that people's bodies are inherently sexual, and I don't think this clip fits any of those definitions. And so I kind of find that offensive if that's the clip that's being called out here.
Yeah, right?
The third clip that might possibly have triggered this violation is this clip where Matt Walsh is...
See, I'd be down with going to a Korean spa. I don't know. But I've been in the dressing room of the gym in fucking Santa Monica, and there's plenty. I mean, any gym room, like, you go in there, it's, like, totally naked. But, like, I remember when I was going to the gym in Santa Monica, and, like, I'd go into, like, the dressing room and stuff, shower room, like, people were naked. They were just naked. More naked than I wanted. I saw an old lady bend over. It was...
shown a book that is made for 10-year-olds and up to give them sex education.
For 10 years and up. Here's just one page I want you to see here.
Why did he blur it out?
For 10 and up, huh?
It's unspeakable what these people have done to our children.
When did that start? When was it decided that we need to start teaching kids about this stuff at such a young age?
Again, kind of the same thing.
Why is it that, like, cis people are, like, if they have, like, a son and they're like, ooh, you're such a cute young man, bet you're gonna have a lot of girlfriends, like, that's okay, but when trans people come into view, like, oh no, that's too much.
Thing applies here that I was talking about with the other man. This book is made for 10-year-old kids. It is made to educate them about sex in a healthy way. It is educational, both within its own context, and it's educational within my context of the video where I am talking about Matt Walsh's clip. And the recommended age for exposing kids to healthy sex education is, according to research done by Georgetown University, 10 and up. This is not saying that kids should have sex at 10 years old, but teach them about sex. If this is the clip that is said that is violating their sex and nudity policy, then that is saying, again, that Matt Walsh is correct, that this is inherently sexual and too much for kids. And I, again, find that deeply offensive because that is exactly how he builds his basis for making his transphobic arguments that trans people and LGBTQ people are inherently sexual just by existing. So
it's okay to introduce cis heteronormative sexuality to children in the eyes of Christian nationalists, but it's not okay for there to be anything different from that. It's like, it's okay to introduce sex and sexuality when the sex and sexuality is cisnormative, but if it's not, then it's perverse. That makes no sense. It's either all sexuality is perverse to teach, or it's not.
I find that offensive if that is what their problem is. So those are the three clips that might possibly have constituted the violation in their mind. Now, even if you agree with them that says, look, Jesse, I hear you, I understand why you're upset, But these still, I personally would have said that those violated their sex and nudity policy. And you know what? I don't agree with you, but I can understand and appreciate where you're coming from there. What I would say back to that is they gave me a community strike for this, or at least a warning for a community strike for this video. The thing that I would have understood, not agreed with, but understood, is if they gave me an age gate on the video. If they said, look, this constitutes an educational context, it constitutes a documentary context, but we don't feel that it is appropriate for all ages. And your video can still be up, but it's not appropriate.
Yeah, couldn't they have just said, hey, your video is good, it's just not appropriate for all ages, and just limited it to 18 and older? Because I have that enabled on my channel. My channel is by default set for 18 years and older. So my content isn't actually shown or put in front of children 18 and younger. Because I feel personally, not because I'm discussing like weird sexual stuff or anything like that, but because I discuss a lot of complicated philosophical and social issues. And I'm not trying to ban 18 and younger people from my channel. I'm trying to gear it towards people who have a bit more of an adult understanding of life. I would love to be really open and say, hey, kids can come and join, but I don't think it's appropriate. But that's me and my channel. That's me and my channel. That has nothing to do with Jessie Gender. Whatever she's doing, however she's trying to portray her content, it's in the best interest of trans people. And trans people can be children. There are trans children. They need access to information from somebody like them that they can identify with to learn and navigate and go through the world. So this makes me angry that they can't have access to something that's rational.
For all ages. I would have disagreed because I do think in both of those clips that I talked about that they aren't, that in fact one of them is literally made for kids and the other one is talking about how literally nudity isn't sexual around kids inherently. So I would argue that these videos don't constitute an age gate either, but I could understand the argument for it on that point. And at the very least, if they had done the age gate, I could have appealed it, could have talked to people that I know at YouTube, and I could have had a discussion while the video was still live, and at least some people would be able to see it. But by giving me a community strike, not only does it kill the video, means no one can see it, means that the momentum that it was getting in the algorithm is now stopped dead completely. But it also means that, again, I am held as if I violated a community guideline, which I find deeply offensive and hurtful. And it's saying that I was sexualizing my audience and presenting sexual material to my audience when I wasn't. And it vilifies me as a creator. And it makes me look bad as a person and as a creator, saying that I am making sexual content as if I'm equivalent to like porn on this site. And we can talk about porn. I have varying views on porn, but like I am not posting porn on this site. That's not what I was doing. I was educating about these things, and it was important to do so. And by saying that these things are nudity and sex and violate a community strike and not just an age gate, it is agreeing inherently with Matt Walsh. It is agreeing inherently with these creators who are saying that LGBTQ people are constituting rumors of that are
Sorry, I'm sick of this bullshit. Where it's like YouTube saying that Jessie Gender violated some sort of technicality. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. This may be speculation, but I feel like YouTube took her content down because it is in favor of correct information of trans people. It's suspicious because Matt Walsh puts a lot of transphobic shit out there on YouTube. That's okay. And it's even targeted towards children. Matt Walsh's content is targeted towards children as well, to sort of help them avoid the trans agenda. So it's I really do feel like her content was taken down because it's in favor of trans people. But of course that's speculation, but it's very suspicious. This is very suspicious that she would be putting together all this content critiquing Matt Walsh's shit, and then it's taken down. And I'm mad I can't see it.
Bodies are in.
Thank you so much, Susan, for coming. Susan says I have to go to a meeting. Good night, all. Good night, Susan. Good to see you. Love you.
Inherently sexual for just existing. It is siding with those arguments, and I personally find that very offensive. I find it deeply, deeply offensive. Even more, what frustrates me, I said before that when I went to appeal this, they didn't give me time codes for the video, which is frustrating because I have to guess what the problem is, which should be on them to present to me what the issue is, especially if they're going to, in the back end, shame me, repeatedly saying you violated the community guidelines and putting notices all up. Even when I opened up the app, I got notifications saying you violated community guidelines, even when I appealed the decision. So like the app is shaming me. Not only is that a problem, but when I went to appeal, their appeals, they allow you to leave a comment on the appeal. They only allow you 800 words to appeal the video.
That's
which
ridiculous.
Is not enough, especially in a situation where I...
How are you supposed to use 800 words to describe why you fucked up?
Don't know what the problem was, because then what I had to do is I tried to put in my comment, it's like, okay, only what I basically just said to you, these are the 3 clips that I think it might be. Again, I have to say might be. Here's the problems that I disagree. Here's why I disagree with that. But I'm only given 800 words, so I have to make an argument for 3 different clips, none of which if I know is the correct one, and I have to try and articulate it in less than 800 words.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I just spent 10 minutes explaining to you what the problem is. That's all I get. And that's whether or not the video gets appealed or not. That is absolutely wrong. Like, at the very least, even through all of this, give me more than 800 words to make my appeal. What the absolute... I'm not going to say the F word because I don't want to get flagged again.
Fuck.
But,
fuck.
Yeah, pisses me right off. One final thing that I wish to say before I give an update on what I'm planning to do with the video going forward is this last argument here. So I've already said the problem that I have with, if these are the reasons that you're saying my video violates these policies, you're inherently agreeing with Matt Walsh and right-wing people who are sexualizing LGBTQ people, which I find deeply offensive. But even more so, one thing that this brought to my attention is their community policy quite literally states, quote, that it violates policies when content features non-consensual sexual activity, unwanted sexualization, or that otherwise degradingly sexualizes an individual. So if that is their wording of what violates YouTube's policy, why the hell are so many right-wing and anti-LGBTQ videos allowed on YouTube that inherently sexualize transgender people? Why are people like Matt Walsh or Tucker Carlson or Fox News or a billion others that I could possibly name constantly allowed to make videos calling LGBTQ people groomers, calling trans people groomers, saying being trans is inherently a sexual fetish? That is unwanted sexualization of me as a trans person, of the trans community, of trans people in general. And they sometimes do it to individuals. They'll put up like TikTok videos that they react to, like sexualizing trans people, making fun of them, harassing them. That is unwanted sexualization as well. So why is my educational video considered a violation for being educational when those videos get released all the time without a problem? Why is that allowed on this platform? Yes, it may not show people's boobs or genitals in those videos, but they are unwantedly sexualizing people. So why is that allowed on this platform? It is... I mean, it shouldn't be allowed in the first place just on the basis of how horrible these people are that we have normalized in our discourse as saying it's okay to say some of the horrific things that we allow like these pundits to say in this world. But by the terms of your own policy, it is wrong. So I am very angry that me as an LGBTQ person trying to educate against the harm being done against my own community gets told that I am violating your community guidelines, as if I'm putting out like sexual content for people when I'm trying to educate. When that sort of stuff can exist on this platform in perpetuity.
I almost want to cry. Like, I'm so mad too. Like, I'm mad about this.
It's zero challenge. I am pissed off about that.
Me too.
If you can't hear it in my voice.
No, I can. I'm
Okay.
mad. I am mad. I am mad. Like, I'm also, I can't see this fucking video. It's 4 hours long. It's a beautiful critique of Matt Walsh. I can't see it. I'm pissed. I want to see it. Like, Jessie Gender is one of my favorite content creators that I want to support. I'm an LGBTQ person. I'm a fucking non-binary trans person, openly. And I want to hear what Jessie Gender, a trans woman, has to say about Matt Walsh. I can't see that. I can see plenty of Matt Walsh content slamming trans people against the goddamn wall, humiliating them, being an absolute ass, but I can't watch a reasonable trans woman make a rational critique. You know, it pisses me off.
Last thing that I want to say is an update on the video. Right now, where it sits is I have appealed the violation. I haven't heard back yet. I did it several hours ago. I will take that as a good sign because I've appealed age gates before on this channel, and they usually come back to me within like 10 minutes, usually a denial. So the fact that I've taken longer with it has me at least saying, like, maybe they're considering the things that I'm saying right now. I try to make my cases in my as 800 words as I possibly could. So I'll take that as a good thing. But even if the appeal gets through and the video goes back up, that still hurt it in the algorithm. So I'm still angry about it.
Yeah.
And the thing that I want to ask is, why was this allowed to happen in the first place?
Yes.
I'm sure it was some automated system. I'm sure the initial violation was flagged by one of Matt Walsh's fans. And then this automated system allowed it to be flagged with zero nuance or discussion. So why I want to know why that was even allowed to happen. Why my video that I spent so much time on, worked really hard on, was very proud of, and I think was important. Why its momentum, it got to be killed in the algorithm in the first place. Why this even happened. So even if it gets rectified, I'm still angry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, and something else that I learned too after recording the rest of this video, that even if it does get rectified and my appeal is approved and the community violation is taken off of the video, the fact that they gave that warning can't be taken back. There's no way in YouTube's system to take back that warning. So next time something like this happens, which I do not trust YouTube to get it right when it does, it means that I will get a copyright or a community strike. And not a warning, a strike. For something, you know, when I should be given a warning, considering that I didn't break their policy in the first place. So I've already used up my one warning for something that should not have given me that warning in the first place. So even if they rectify the appeal, that's still going to be held against me no matter what. So yeah, I'm pissed off about that. And I've been talking to people at Nebula, because thank you to the folks at Nebula who helped me there. And there are some people that I know that work at YouTube that are very kindly helping me as well. So to those people,
well, that's good.
You know, I'm talking about YouTube as a company, not the specific people who are understanding and trying to help me. So I know there are many individuals at YouTube that are doing their best to help. But I'm talking about YouTube as a company at the moment. So that is going on right now. And hopefully that appeal will get turned over, and then we can have that discussion of why this even happened in the first place. But secondly, if it does not, if the appeal gets denied, I will be very, very angry, and believe me, I will make a stink about that.
Please.
If that occurs.
I will make a stink too.
And there will.
I will make a stink too. I will raise the hounds of hells for you, honey.
There will be discussions had behind the scenes. But if that's the case, here's what's going to happen. Right now, the video is still available to folks on Patreon and Nebula. So if you are dying to see the video, which please do, because
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it was available on Patreon. I am a patron. I want to watch it.
I'm very proud of this video, despite all of this crap that has happened. You can go on my Patreon and see the version of the video that exists. It is also available on Nebula. Patreon helps me out directly because you're helping support me directly.
I'm a proud patron of Jessie Gender. If you guys want to be too, you know, I encourage it. I think she deserves the support. I didn't realize that the video is still available on Patreon. I think I just been like so mad about it too that I missed that part. So I'm just like, it's gone. It's gone. I'm so mad. So now that I know it's available on Patreon, I'm going to watch that tomorrow. That's a 4-hour long video. I'm going to fucking watch that tomorrow. Fuck yeah. I'm going to get some snacks and drinks and like fucking have at it.
Financially, when situations like this happen, having Patreon is really helpful because it knows that I can still pay the bills, and you get yourself videos and fun stuff. But it's also on Nebula, so if you want to get your access to other cool stuff that's on Nebula and other wonderful creators there, that also helps me elevate a little bit more indirectly. But it is also up there if you want to see the video there. So supporting me in any of those places, I highly encourage and recommend right now. If the video gets denied appeal, I will upload an edited version of the video that I hope doesn't get hit with a violation again, because I'm hoping that those are the 3 clips that they meant, or one of those 3 was the ones that they meant. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'll get hit with a copyright strike again. So if you see that I can't post on my community for a week, you know why. But I'm going to upload that version. I don't wish to, because number one, it's removing all the views and comments and the algorithm momentum that the first video had, so I have to start from scratch there. So that's frustrating. And number 2, it would be, again, saying that Matt Walsh and his folks were correct, that they win the argument in this case, or at least YouTube is saying that. Yeah. So if I have to censor this stuff, it inherently says that they won.
I think that's what makes me the most mad. That's what really triggers me. It's like, if somebody rational can't make a critique against somebody like Matt Walsh, who's very irrational, it makes me very angry that person's content would get taken down. As a Hyperian, I am very much fully invested in the war of the mind and ideas. We are in a war of ideas, and a lot of those ideas are conservative, they're religious, they're nationalist, they're scary, they're, in Kanye West's case, they're anti-Semitic, they're Nazi, they're it's not good. Like, where does the break get towards people who are critiquing that sort of stuff? It's like it's not allowed for some reason, but yet Matt Walsh can say whatever the fuck he wants with no repercussions and be put on a pedestal as a hero, when everything that Matt Walsh says is insane.
You know, I'm willing to have a conversation about age gating, but this, what happened now, that pisses me off. And so to say that I violated community, that's saying tangentially that they're okay to do what they do and say what they say about trans people, that they're correct, inherently, tacitly endorsing it. So that's my plan going forward. I'm going to put the videos on Patreon, videos on Nebula. If the video's appeal gets removed, hey, you can all watch it. Please support it so that I can still get that boost in the algorithm as it can. And if I have to upload a censored version of it, I will be very pissed off and angry, and I'll continue pushing that point elsewhere. But at the very least, people will be able to see the video in some way, shape, or form. When I will release that version of it, I'm not sure, just because I know 4-hour-long videos are hard for people to watch during the weekday. So more than likely, if I have to wait for me to re-upload.
It is not hard for me personally to watch Jessie Gender for 4 hours. Like, it's like that. I'm looking forward to that. I don't care what time of day it is. I don't care what day of the week it is.
Load that version of the video. Sadly, you're just gonna have to wait till next Friday, because I'll release it on next Friday so that people can catch it on the weekend, and that'll sort of be better for the algorithm. So apologies if you have to wait a little bit longer. But if you don't see that version of the video come up, the old version of the video come up, the new version will be up on Friday for people. So at the very least, wait until Friday. If you can't wait, Patreon, Nebula. And that's where I'll leave it. Okay. Thank you to everyone who's helped me in this situation, to everyone who jumped on my Patreon for supporting me in this situation, for everyone who made us think about this on Twitter and elsewhere in my comments and things like that. I've actually never messaged Jessie Gender personally until this incident. I actually messaged her on Patreon, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, this sucks. And she did respond. She's just like, thank you. I'm so mad about this. To anybody who signed up to Nebula and supported me and other wonderful creators, thank you. I appreciate you. It means a lot, even just sending a kind word in the comments or just a like or all that stuff. I mean, you know what, this video can go out, you know, I want this to get heard and as far as possible, but I'm not like looking for the comments here. I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported me through all of this. And I really hope that YouTube is held accountable
Me too.
For this.
Me too.
Because, like I said, there are many wonderful people that work there, but this I find deeply offensive.
It is.
And
it's
I
offensive.
hope you understand that I'm not an angry person. So me being this pissed.
She's not. That's what's so like clenching about this. Like, it takes so much to make Jessie Gender super fucking angry.
Pissed off.
And this is warranted. This is just. This is a just piss off.
Should tell you something. I'll leave it there. Thank you, everybody. I love you all. Take care of yourselves.
Mwah.
Live long and prosper.
Mwah. Live long and prosper. Fuck yeah. Hell new Terra. Anyways, yeah, we're in a war of ideas. Matt Walsh, a right-wing conservative, like, Christian asshole, gets to say whatever he wants about trans people, even though it's horridly correct. Like, horridly correct. Incorrect, sorry. It's horridly incorrect. But when somebody like Jessie Gender, a trans woman, somebody who is professional, who is rational and knows what the fuck she's talking about, challenges Matt Walsh and his ideas, suddenly YouTube's like, oh no, we gotta take this down. Even though most of the clips that she's featuring are of Matt Walsh. So what the fuck is going on here? Why the nuance? Why the arbitrary sort of ban and taking away of the video when there's not much explanation? I think it's transphobic. Frankly, I think it's transphobic. Anyways. I think I've had enough. You know, Worldview Wednesdays are kind of tough because we talk about, like, insane people in the world and insanities and injustices and things like that. So it's really difficult. And this issue with Jessie Gender is really difficult for me because I like Jessie, I love her content, and it makes me angry too. Like her, that this is happening. But I'm glad to know that, like, her whole video is still on Patreon. I want to watch it. I missed that. I don't know how I missed that piece of information, but I want to do that. So anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for joining Mindful Monad tonight. Very interesting subjects, and I wanted to get into Alex Jones. I'm going to have to change the title of my YouTube video and also change the thumbnail as well. That's fine. People do live streamers do that shit all the time. That's nothing. But I want to take Alex Jones out of that because we weren't able to get to him today. We might get to him next week. I don't know. It's a little dead at this point. So, yeah. Anyways. Good to see everybody. Michelle, thank you so much for coming. Cassidy, our royal lurker. Paul Cherry, good to see you. Mistress Angelica, good night. Zero, good night. Heretical Response, always good to have you around. Thank you so much for coming. I'm gonna go relax. And next time I see you will be Friday. We will go live Friday. Still spooky season. And I believe I will also be moderating Morg's live stream tomorrow. If Morg is going live, I will be moderating that stream. It's been a little while. I've been taking a bit of a break, acclimating to my new schedule, so I haven't been moderating as much for, like, Hyperion, Source, and Morg, but I'm excited to get back to that, of course, because I love that. I love the community. I love that we have a bunch of live streams, like, all week long, and I get to see everybody literally every other day. So, anyways. Good night, you beautiful monads. Sweet dreams. I hope you meet a new part of yourself in your sleep tonight. Anyways, good night. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you for the sticker. I love that. Thank you so much. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Demon.